How's it going?
It's going great. Hi, Sparkle.
All right. It's going well. It's about 70 degrees here today. So,
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's supposed to snow this afternoon.
of course, right?
Right.
So, you guys, happy Wednesday and welcome to Every Child Can Learn, the series that enlightens, encourages, and empowers parents, teachers, and schools to reimagine equity in education and make learning simple and accessible for children of all abilities. Now, you may be thinking, how are we going to change after 100 years of doing the same thing?
Whew. Yeah,
I love it. You always say, whew, 100 years, right?
I know.
Well, the answer is progressive education. All right. So, progressive education is about moving away from a top down authoritarian approach and prioritizing agency, autonomy, student voice, choice, mental health, and well being, as well as 21st century life skills such as creativity, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking.
So
Now,
important.
yes, it is. And taking inspiration from models outside of this conventional school system, as well as innovations taking place within the mainstream. Now, if you want to learn more, well, forget it. Let's just get started, right?
Okay.
We ain't even gonna ask. Y'all are ready.
Well, you know what I was thinking is, what if business hadn't changed in 100 years?
Oh,
You know what I mean? And why do we expect schools to still do what they did 100 years ago?
and it's so true because times and look at we were not the person we were a second ago, right?
No, we weren't.
Same thing for anything else. So, on today's show, we're going to share the final 15 progressive education strategies that are disrupting our education system and giving students equity in their education. So, we will share AI technology that is teaching our students different languages and giving teachers options in classrooms. So, if this is your first time tuning in to our show, welcome, you guys. My name is Sparkle Lindsay, and I'm here with my friend and co host, Angela Lee. So we got to do it. Angela, how was the premiere of Children's Lives Matter that streams Tuesdays on E360 TV?
We had such a wonderful premiere yesterday. The co-hosts are brilliant
Beautiful.
children's advocates who just bring so much wisdom to the topics.
Mhm.
And we talked about developmental disability because this is Developmental Disability Awareness Month.
Mhm.
And the next show will be on neurodiversity, which is exciting.
That
Yeah.
is going to be beautiful. I can't wait to tune in. I know we've been seeing it all over the place, just all up over social media. So I just want to say congratulations, and you guys keep
Thank
thriving. You keep thriving now. So now, Angel, in honor of Women's History Month, who are we honoring that started to tell our students, parents, and teachers how Microsoft Copilot is reimagining education, making learning simple and exciting for students?
This is exciting for me because we are honoring Maria Montessori, physician and educator, known for her philosophy of progressive education that she brought in the early 1900s. Marie's method of education involves children's natural interests and activities rather than formal teaching methods. A Montessori classroom places an emphasis on hands-on learning and developing real-world skills. She implemented a number of practices like replacing the heavy furniture with child-sized tables and chairs light enough for the children to move. She placed child-sized materials on low accessible shelves and expanded the range of practical activities such as sweeping and personal care to include a wide variety of exercises about the care for our environment. She included flower arrangement, hand washing, gymnastics, care of pets, and cooking. She also included large open-air sections in the classroom, encouraging children to come and go as they pleased in the room's different areas and lessons. Marie was way ahead of her time,
Yeah.
and she created the Montessori schools that we see today.
Hmm.
And I started my son in Montessori
Right. Me
for
too.
his preschool and kindergarten. Brilliant education.
Oh. Mhm.
So let's watch this video on the legacy of Marie and Montessori schools.
Montessori education is based on the principles developed by Maria Montessori, who opened her first school for children of low-income workers in an apartment building in Rome in 1907. The school was called Casa dei Bambini, Home for Children. This first casa was furnished with a teacher's table, a stove, a blackboard, some chairs, group tables for the children, and a cabinet filled with materials that Montessori developed in her earlier career when she researched how to teach kids who experience some form of mental disability. Maria Montessori created the materials after she realized that students seemed to understand complex concepts better when they engaged all their senses. Activities at this first school included personal care, such as dressing and undressing, care of the environment, like sweeping, dusting, and gardening. Otherwise, they were free to move around and play with the materials. Montessori did not teach herself, but instead oversaw the classroom work of her teachers. Montessori observed that children showed episodes of deep concentration and multiple repetitions of the same activity. Given free choice, kids showed more interest in practical activities and the materials than normal toys, sweets, or other rewards. Over time, spontaneous self-discipline emerged. Montessori concluded that working independently, children seemed to reach new levels of autonomy and became self-motivated learners. She began to see the role of the teacher as a facilitator of young human beings who are free to move and act within the limits of a prepared environment. The goal? To grow children to become independent and responsible adults who share a love for learning. Soon after, Montessori herself and her ideas started traveling the world to inspire progressive thinkers and educators from all over. The inventors, Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Edison, became early advocates. Later alumni include Jimmy Wales from Wikipedia, author Gabriel Garcia Marquez, as well as the two Google founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Today, the term Montessori stands more for a method than a school itself. The fact that it can be used freely by anyone led to a great variation of schools. Educators all over the world borrow Montessori's name, insights, and materials to organize kindergartens, elementary schools, special needs programs, or even full 12-year curriculums. Some parents use it for homeschooling. The following characteristics are shared among most programs. Students are free to choose what to learn. Open classrooms that allow free movement. Use of specialized Montessori materials. Mixed age classes from 0 to 3, 3 to 6, or 6 to 12, so children can learn from each other. Uninterrupted blocks of study time, usually 3 hours. No grading or homework, and a trained teacher. Maria Montessori once famously said, "Never help a child with a task at which he feels he can succeed." What are your thoughts on Montessori? Please share your opinions in the comments below.
Wow.
I love that. Never help a child with something that they can do.
Yes. Mm-hmm. A lot
Yeah.
of times we think that, we need to do it for them, but really we just stand out of the way and let them make
Let
it happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Sparkle, in recognition of Developmental Disability Awareness Month, who are we honoring that was the first teacher in a wheelchair and the mother of ADA?
We are honoring the late Judy Heumann, teacher, author, and advocate. She fought for civil rights for all people with disabilities, famously including a 26-day sit-in at a federal building in San Francisco. Now, this action led to the implementation of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, which became a model for the American with Disabilities Act, ADA, that we celebrate every year in July. Now, the ADA became a model for the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Judy co-founded two nonprofits that are active today: the Center for Independent Living in Berkeley and the World Institute on Disability in Oakland, California. Let's watch this legacy video.
Montessori education is based on the principles developed by Maria Montessori.
For the 1 billion people in the world who live with a disability, life can sometimes be a challenge. But when Judy Heumann, a disabled teacher from New York, decided she had had enough discrimination, she helped spearhead a new law that changed United States society forever. In 1949, when she was just 18 months old, Heumann contracted polio, an often deadly disease that left her using a wheelchair for the rest of her life. As a child, she experienced her first taste of discrimination when the principal of her kindergarten refused to let her enter the building on her first day of school, claiming she posed a fire hazard. Her mother fought for her right to education, and she was eventually enrolled in a public high school, where Heumann was often bullied by her classmates. But at Camp Gen Ed, a summer camp for children with disabilities, she was able to make new friends and experience an inclusive life. It inspired her to want to change things so that others with disabilities could enjoy the same freedoms as those without. While studying speech therapy at Long Island University, Heumann led protests calling for improved access. And after graduating, she applied to be a teacher. But the New York Board of Education denied her request for a license, using an excuse she had heard before: she was a fire hazard. So Heumann sued and won in a settlement out of court, becoming the first teacher in New York to use a wheelchair. Now a pioneer, she threw herself into campaigning for disability civil rights. In 1972, when President Richard Nixon blocked a new law designed to protect those with disabilities, Heumann organized protests across the country, bringing the streets of New York City to a standstill as dozens of disabled protesters rallied against Nixon's veto. In 1983, she co-founded the World Institute on Disability, a global organization dedicated to improving the lives of disabled people everywhere. But it was the Americans with Disabilities Act which made discrimination based on disability illegal in the U.S. that proved to be her greatest victory. Heumann went on to serve under 2 presidents. Today, she is recognized as one of the greatest disability rights activists of her generation. Why do you think it's necessary to advocate for disability rights?
Yeah.
You know, the thing is that she served under Obama's thing there in 2017. I see that. That's pretty cool. The diversity, and she got a chance to really be a part of that. So
Yeah. And I love that, one of the things that we put forth in Children's Lives Matter is that everybody matters and everybody has a gift for the world.
right,
And let's not dismiss people because they're in a wheelchair.
right. And I believe it's very eye-opening, the little things that end up turning pretty big, right? Because if she would have never done that, or the woman we covered before, who couldn't hear and couldn't see, Helen Keller there, that was another big monumental time. And
Mhm.
on top of that, Angela, it was women.
There you go.
Driving Women Network today, right?
Right.
Well, it's so cool, just right on point. And also, in 2020, Judy wrote her memoir, Being Human, an unrepentant memoir of a disability rights activist. And on March 4th, 2023, we lost the leading voice for people with disabilities. She was called the mother of disability rights. So, a lot of great leaders that are passing, but man, talk about making a stamp in history, right?
Yeah, she did.
Woo, powerful. I'm glad we get to talk about stuff like this especially on a Thriving Women Network. right?
Yeah, it's so good.
So what AI technology are we sharing that teaches student language?
Oh my gosh, Sparkle. Have
Yeah.
you heard of TalkPal?
I have not.
I have not either, but it is a GPT-powered AI language learning application. Now just think about that, language learning chatbot.
Wow.
We can chat about an unlimited amount of interesting topics in different languages by writing, speaking, or receiving messages. And just think about that. We can learn a language in a voice, text, or writing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm going to text you something in French.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's watch this video on how AI TalkPal is reimagining education.
TalkPal is an AI language tutor powered by GPT technology. It helps you practice listening, reading, writing, and speaking while engaging in interesting and exciting conversations. TalkPal offers a modern and enjoyable way to learn a language. You can start a conversation by choosing a topic or sending our AI tutor a text or voice message. To ensure you thoroughly practice active language skills, we have implemented both speaking and writing functionalities. Once you send a message, it will provide feedback and continue the conversation. For listening practice, TalkPal uses realistic voices, making conversations feel genuine and never dull. The best way to use TalkPal is to engage in regular conversations. You can discuss your interests, participate in role play to enhance specific vocabulary, or simply learn new information about your favorite topic from a tutor that possesses the knowledge of the entire internet. Using TalkPal consistently will improve your vocabulary, boost your confidence in speaking your target language, help you learn grammar, and most importantly, provide a lot of fun in the process.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the speaker was AI generated too. So Sparkle, we know that you hadn't heard of TalkPal, but what are
Right.
your thoughts about it?
I think it's really cool. I think that a lot of this stuff is really just helping us to learn easier, to visualize different things, to put all the things together. So I think it's wonderful we're doing it, and I also like the fact that it's coming with the information how not to overuse it. You know what I mean? Because at one point AI came through and it was like this big thing, and people were using it.
Writing whole books.
Right. Issue comes down to we don't want something like that to take away from our creativity as well. So the fact that they added that piece on plus the TalkPal, I mean, it's just been beautiful in all aspects. I love it. I can't wait to check it out. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, me too. And I love how this show specifically brings more understanding of how AI can be used in the classroom.
Absolutely. Now, during our break, you guys, we will be enlightened on life skills that schools need to teach so that students are prepared for the real world skills that we need. Oh, that's exciting.
That's good stuff.
Heck yeah. And you guys know Every Child Can Learn is sponsored by Thriving Women University, and it's an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, mentoring, and coaching to produce that show, just like Angel just did. So for more info, visit our website at thrivingwomennetwork.com. We shall return, y'all.
All right, we're continuing our talk this morning about life skills. Yesterday, we asked what life skills you thought were most important for an 8-year-old to have, and viewer responses ran the gamut from knowing how to swim to knowing how to make their own sandwiches to just knowing how to be polite. Well, today we're jumping ahead a few years to senior year of high school. So in addition to science, math, and English, what life skills should every high school senior have nailed down before they graduate? Hello there. I wanted to talk to you today because you look like you may have been a high school senior at some time in your life.
I was a high school senior at some point in my life.
But we're asking people today about life skills. What's a great life skill every high school senior should already have in their back pocket?
financial literacy.
What about culinary skills? How important is it for graduating seniors to know how to handle themselves in the kitchen?
Oh, they should be able to cook their own food for sure.
Can you fry an egg?
Yes.
Can you scramble eggs?
Almost.
How about eggs Benedict?
Not even close. Once you're 18, you should be able to take care of yourself, especially, not have to rely on your parents.
So we know what life skills some adults think graduating seniors should have, but let's talk to some graduating seniors. In fact, we have a few here at Southridge High School in Beaverton. For starters, how many of you know exactly why I'm here today and what I'm going to ask? No problem. Allow me to explain. What we're talking about today are life skills. So I want to hear from you what you think a good life skill is that anyone who's your age should have by the time they graduate high school.
I think we definitely need to know more about how to handle money and budgeting and taxes.
I think that's extremely important, especially in college when I don't think you'll have the most money.
That's really important because me, myself, I suck at saving up. Just kind of live in the moment and just spend everything.
Another life skill that came up in conversation was the ability to feed yourself. How equipped are you to feed yourself once you get out on your own?
I'm great with the microwave.
Microwave stuff? I'm thinking like really cook stuff with a pan, maybe a pot.
I actually really like cooking, and grocery shopping makes me really happy. And
You like to grocery shop?
yeah,
I've heard people say they like to cook. I don't know if anyone comes out and says, I like grocery shopping.
I love the grocery store.
What?
Going off to college next year, I feel like I can feed myself pretty well making sandwiches.
You make sandwiches?
Yeah. I just go to Albertsons, get some bread, and then just whip it all together.
I know how sandwiches work. What about handy skills? Do you have any handy skills that you think will benefit you when you move out on your own?
Like plumbing stuff?
Plumbing, electrical.
Oh, one time my dad asked me to help him change the oil in his car, and then I changed the tire once with him. But they're not things that I enjoy doing or that were interesting and stuff. I was just kind of forced to do it because he asked me to.
Yeah, not every life skill is enjoyable.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
A lot of credit should be given to those seniors who stepped up there at Southridge High School in Beaverton. So thank you to the school for letting us in.
Yeah, nice.
And thanks to those kids for letting us have some fun with them, because I always felt bad when we first sat them down. I said, what's one good life skill you should have before you graduate? And they were in an interview, for a job. They were trying to give me the best answer they could come up with. And then we loosened up a bit and had some fun with it. Our viewers are joining the conversation too this morning. We asked this very question on my KGW Facebook page. Let's talk to some of those viewers right now. Stella, we're talking to you. Stella says they should all know about personal finances.
Yes. Good one.
Stella says high schoolers need education on taxes, credit cards, loans, and how to balance money. And really, the people we talked to on the street, they all said the same thing about really finances are our most important lesson for high schoolers. Real quickly, one more. Kelly says high school graduates should know how to write a heartfelt thank you note.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then she rambles on with a lot of, not rambles, I'm sorry. Then she rattles off. Sorry, Stella. She rattles off a bunch of others. How to iron, how to pump gas, how to drive a stick shift, how to dress for interviews, how to parallel park.
Hey, they should know a lot of things by the time you're an adult, so there's a long list.
I'm a skilled parallel parker.
Are you?
I do not know how to drive a stick shift still at 45.
You know what I can't do? I cannot parallel park with that darn backup camera. I'm used to doing it old school.
Let's just do it that way then,
I
right?
do. That's what I always do. But it's weird to have to look. I'm like, no, I just know. I know. I feel.
That was good, because all of those things are real. Even the fact that there's no cursive in schools anymore is pretty crazy to me. The writing piece, right? I know we have AI, but then now we're looking at life skills, right? Angel?
Right. And writing a thank you note.
Yeah.
Doing it well is important.
Exactly. It's crazy. And then we had a full-blown episode last year about children and finances. And also the fact that the finances, some of the children's parents needed help with the finances and how to work it too. So it trickled down. It was a really cool one.
That's very cool.
Yes. So welcome back, you guys, to Every Child Can Learn. We're having a conversation on the 21st century skills, progressive education, and the use of AI technology in the classroom. So if you're not familiar with what we need our children to learn in the 21st century, they could be taking courses that have no value.
Ooh.
I know, right? So let's watch this video on what skills our children need in the 21st century.
Have you heard the phrase 21st century skills lately? Does it seem weird that nobody ever takes the time to really explain what that means? I'm Chris Zook with AES, and today we're going to answer the question, what are 21st century skills? 21st century skills are 12 abilities that students need to succeed in the age of the internet. These 12 abilities are grouped into 3 different categories. In this video, we'll dive into each category in depth so that you know what people are talking about when they say the phrase 21st century skills. We'll start by talking about learning skills. The first 21st century skills category is called learning skills. These are also called the 4 C's. These skills all help students adapt and improve in the workplace. These skills include creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. All of them are skills that students can use later in life to adapt to any situation that they can encounter on the job. Our next 21st century skills category is called literacy skills. These are sometimes also called IMT skills, and they all deal with students reading and understanding information, especially the information that they find online. The first skill is information literacy. This means when a student reads something online that they understand what that is actually saying, whether it's a newspaper article or a blog from a source that they just found that day. The second skill is media literacy. That means understanding the sources that publish that information and whether those sources are reliable. Finally, there's also technology literacy. Technology literacy revolves around students understanding the machinery and the equipment that goes into publishing that kind of information. Online, that mostly revolves around servers and computers. These 3 skills help students become savvy information consumers. Combined with our last category, it also helps them become challenging, independent thinkers in the age of the internet. The third category of 21st century skills is called life skills. It's also sometimes called flips. These skills are the ones that students can use as they go through their lives dealing with technology in a variety of different ways, whether that be their personal smartphone or their workplace computer. These skills include flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills, all of which students are bound to use in their personal lives and their professional lives. All of these life skills help students for decades to come. When you combine them with the other 21st century skills, you get a well-rounded student who's able to discern accurate information in an age when there is so much data out there available. If you want to teach 21st century skills to your students, AES is here to help. We have an entire digital curriculum system that is designed to help your students learn 21st century skills as quickly and accurately as possible. If you want to check it out, you can click the link at the end of this video, or you can check out the button at the bottom of this page. I'm Chris with AES. Thanks for watching, and happy teaching.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's so many different skills that aren't really taught in school that really would benefit children in the workplace or in their life.
Right. What are your thoughts about the approach in reimagining our children's skills, and why can learning a new language be a valued skill?
You know, I spent some time in Europe, and so I'm going to answer the second part first. I spent some time in Europe, and most of the Europeans know 2 or 3 different languages.
Right.
And it became clear to me, well, you know, in Europe, you can hop a train and in 5 hours, you'll be in another country.
Right.
So the proximity makes it more necessary to learn another language. Here, you could be in one state, drive for 5 hours, you're still in the same state.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it is important for children to learn language because that helps them be better citizens of the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does.
So learning a language does have benefits, and some of those include improving brain function, enhancing your communication skills, and it can increase job opportunities. A recent study found that learning a second language can improve your cognitive abilities, such as problem solving and decision-making skills. Also, those who are bilingual or multilingual have an advantage in today's workplace. They are likely to land jobs that require language proficiency in multiple languages.
Right.
Sparkle, why is it important for parents, teachers, and schools to do their research and get an early start with teaching students multiple languages?
Well, I mean, we talked about it earlier. We're evolving consistently, so with AI, metaverse, and social media, we're in an intentional economy right now. With many language learning platforms available, it can be challenging to choose correctly. And it's important to consider factors such as the platform's teaching methodology, language options, and cost. TalkPal, for instance, offers a chat-based methodology which focuses on real-life conversations and insights. TalkPal is available in many languages and is beloved by their customers. So learning a language with a real conversation with the AI model has never been so easy and so fun, right? And
Right.
this enables us to take the boredom and the chore element from the language learning process. So we have TalkPal, which is one option.
It is.
TalkPal AI Chat is an AI-powered language learning app, obviously, like we've seen, that helps learners improve their speaking, listening, and the writing skills. It uses a conversational approach to language learning, which allows us to practice with native speakers and AI-powered chatbots. So, Angel, we know you consider using TalkPal. So a big portion of it is, I guess for me, learning a language where it makes it fun and easy for me would be really cool. And it would be like an adventure. What would it feel like to you?
I like that. I really like it, make learning a language fun.
Yeah.
And cool. And, can I use TalkPal to just start a conversation in, like I said, French? I don't know. I don't know French, so I'll have to try it out. So Every Child Can Learn is sponsored by Thriving Women University, which is an affiliate of Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring to produce your franchise show. For more information, visit our website.
Before we go, we've got a lot of orders, by the way, guys. When we come back, we're also going to get a chance to do some deliveries, okay? Megan Hull, intensive skills classroom teacher at Grant High School. We're going to New Seasons, and we're going to pick up some lunch orders for teachers. Okay, what is it? Walk. Look, cross. So we're really good about going to the crosswalk. Once we have the walk signal, look both ways, then be able to go across. And I've had a lot of parents tell me that through our weekly practice, they've seen a difference at home. Nice, Shayla. Good, Caddy. And then once we get there, we really kind of have a production line. I have students that are responsible to go turn in orders. I have students that are responsible to go get chips for teachers that ordered chips.
Ordering chips.
I have students that staple the orders to the bag so that we can stuff the sandwiches inside. So they're working on their reading skills and identifying matching letters. So there's a lot of skills that are happening. And then of course, once an order is completed, they go to the cash register and they get to practice the real money. And because we get all sorts of different types of money, sometimes they might have a $20 bill to work with. Sometimes they might have 2 5s and a 1. Or they might have all ones, and knowing how to get correct change back.
A lot of these kids kind of are reclusive in themselves. They don't speak. So taking them out in the community, they're able to use their communication skills.
And then bringing back the orders, and the teachers are really happy to get them. Staff has been really supportive.
Hello.
Lunch delivery.
Thank you very much.
For teachers, we don't have time to get out of the building with a 33-minute lunch, and so now we get a fantastic sandwich brought right to us, and it's really fun.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Being independent is one of the most important things, and my students have that right to be independent, and it's my job to make sure that they get to be independent.
Yes, independent.
Beautiful.
Learning how to count the money and stuff. Man. Well, welcome back to Every Child Can Learn, you guys. If you are just tuning in to the show, we have had a conversation on the 21st century skills, preparing our children for success, progressive education, and using AI in schools. In prior weeks, we discussed creativity and innovation, prioritize mental health and well-being, practice democracy and mutual respect between staff and schools, value self-directed education, value creativity and innovation, prioritize mental health and well-being, practice democracy and mutual respect between staff and pupils, value self-directed education, broaden the national curriculum, reduce the amount of time spent at school, enhance teacher training to equip teachers for the job. Class school sizes. 13. Facilitate parent-teacher collaboration. Woo, we've talked about a lot, Angel.
We have, and good stuff.
And now we are going to talk about the importance of skill education in schools and teachers and parent-teacher collaboration. We're going to ask Angela, right, about her perspective and experience when it comes to these strategies, okay, these two.
Okay.
So, Angela, for our viewers that are not familiar with your teaching background, share with us your journey as a teacher and why you feel that it is important that parents, teachers, and schools start to focus on skill-based education. And I know you're not a teacher, but
well, I do have a training background.
Right.
So like you, I would train people. But from my perspective as a parent and my perspective as a child advocate, I can say that teaching life skills is really critical to children. One of the aspects of life skills that I am really a mentor on is social skills, emotional intelligence.
Right.
And that is a life skill that is critical for everyone. And yet it's not really taught in school.
Right. It's not. So, Angela, what can be done from a parent's perspective starting in the home?
This is one of the things that I talk about most, parent modeling behavior. Because, I just wrote an article for the Los Angeles Tribune that is on what the full scope of repressed emotions is and how it affects you in your life.
Right.
And when you reach for a glass of wine at the end of a long, stressful day, what are you modeling for your children? When you choose to go, credit card shopping at the mall because you had a stressful day, what are you modeling for your children? You're modeling behavior that takes you away from your emotions, repressed emotions.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, these are things we just do every day, but a lot of times we don't realize how much our children see.
Absolutely.
And then there they are when my mommy's stressed, she has a glass of wine at night. So maybe you should do that, right?
That's the way we deal with stress, right? That's the lesson, and the parents are not setting out to teach that.
No.
But they were never told to question how they were modeling for their children.
Right. Oh, that is beautiful. So, Angela, how can AI empower parents to start the process of teaching skills that their kiddos will need in the job market?
And that's one of the beauties of AI. It is so readily available and so easy for kids to get into using it. And these AI programs that are geared towards student learning, they can be used by parents. If your child wants to learn something about ancient Egypt, maybe there's an AI program that will immerse them in the scenes of ancient Egypt. And what a great way to just keep a child interested in what they're doing.
Right. Now, some parents think that collaboration is when they visit the school and talk about grades.
Mhm.
But can you give us an example of progressive collaboration?
You know, I can, because I went to my son's school when he was in first grade, and I said, you know, I read this thing in Smithsonian Magazine that shows that reading to children below the age of 7 is so important.
Right.
And how do we bring a reading incentives program to the school? Because I was not working at the time, I was able to start and run a reading incentive program in the school. Now, that's not available for everybody, but maybe you have the ability to volunteer on your lunch hour. Or maybe you can bring an idea for a lesson and talk to the teacher about that. So just expanding the just the offerings that children can learn from.
Right. Being involved. Right?
Yeah.
Being involved hands-on. You know, go help with your kindergartner and bring snacks and watch what they do and what they learn and sit down with them for an hour and then go back, right? So
And be interested, in what your kid is doing.
Put the phone down. Just be, right?
Yeah.
Well, you guys, when we come back, we will discuss why teacher-parent discuss, you know, the whys to teacher-parent collaboration. We would love to hear your questions or comments on 21st Century Skills. So remember, join our Facebook group, Thriving Women TV, and post your questions. And remember, Every Child Can Learn is sponsored by Thriving Women University. It's an affiliate of Thriving Women Network. And if you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring to produce your franchise show. So visit our website and we'll be back.
We will.
Family engagement is critical to student success. As teachers, we can support the creation of a home environment that encourages learning and help parents to get involved in their children's education in school and in the community. With the right strategies and tools in place, teacher-parent collaboration doesn't need to be an extra burden, but a part of our normal planning and teaching activities. It may require a change of mindset, but it will likely lead to benefits for students and parents, as well as for us and our schools. When done well, teacher-parent collaboration can have a real impact on student learning. If we invite parents into the classroom, we open up opportunities for face-to-face collaboration. We help inform students about the real-world experiences that parents have accumulated, and we inspire them to learn new skills. Technology has opened up a new world of possibilities. We can learn from and adapt to the parents' needs. Why not create a class website using Weebly where we share what we're learning? Or start an ongoing teacher-parent discussion with the unique hashtag on Twitter. Creating a teacher-parent collaboration plan can help concentrate our efforts. Start by considering why we think teacher-parent collaboration is important and what our role will be within that. Create a vision statement that includes our hopes and aspirations for ourselves as well as our students. From there, draw up a list of goals to help us accomplish effective teacher-parent collaborations and the different results that we would like to see when cultivating a strong relationship with parents. There will be challenges. Parents are notoriously busy. Some of them will not be fluent English speakers. Some won't have access to technology. So being considerate of the challenges they face in their everyday lives and the cultural differences that set them apart is essential in fostering effective parent-teacher relationships. Think through potential challenges and make a plan for how to address them to make future collaborations run smoothly.
Who we are as parent-teacher collaborators depends upon the type of school we work in, the makeup of our classroom, and the relationships we build with parents. But acknowledging that no one approach works best and that everyone can play a part in student learning helps to create an involved school community where teachers learn from teachers, parents from parents, and students from everyone.
That's good. Welcome back to Every Child Can Learn. If you're just tuning into the show, we've had a conversation on 21st century skills, preparing our children for success, progressive education, and using AI in schools. So here we go, Angela.
Okay, ready.
You ready? All right. So let's summarize our talk on the need of 21st century skills in schools.
You know, this is the age of machines. It really is, where we all are on the computer, on our tablet, on our phone, all day long. So if we do not teach our children the skills they need to do the job on these machines, then they're going to be left behind.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
Angela, why should parents encourage students to learn a new language?
Oh, well, we did cover that. It's having another language just opens up a whole part of the world to you.
Yeah.
That you know, traveling to Spain, if you know Spanish, it's so much nicer when you get in a restaurant and you want to order and you can like tell what's on the menu because, yeah.
How fun is it to drop down and just start speaking another language? Like you said, from train to train or from city to city where you were at, it was a different language you had to learn. That's
You know, the hardest was in Croatia.
Oh, I bet.
It's like I couldn't get that language at all.
Now, Angel, how can AI support and empower teachers to be their best version?
You know, there are so many benefits to AI, and there's a whole cross-section of people who kind of fear what AI will bring. You know, is AI gonna take over the world and kill all humans?
Right.
I think the more people who use AI for good, the less chance is gonna happen. You know, I don't believe that AI is going to take over the world. It still needs us to input stuff into it, right?
And you're right, because if you think about it, a lot of times AI, even if you go to put something in there, it will tell you, hi, I'm really not a person, I'm a robot. So
exactly. And I don't really know how to do that. Yeah.
I'm not really feeling that, you know, I don't know, right? So, I mean, that's good. And I also think that like the best version of a teacher is being able to utilize their creativity with a little bit of help, no different than a writer or author.
Absolutely.
Or a speaker, or I mean, proposals, things like that. So, like you said before, if we're the ones that are controlling this, right, and we're actually using it to its advantage, getting underneath it and understanding exactly what it does, oh my gosh, the power of it coming together with humans being able to use it is just, it's phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. The ability to just input information. So I write for a whole bunch of different newspapers, and I might say, what are the top 10 issues affecting residents in Miami that are going to cause them to read a newspaper?
Right.
And then it'll spit out 10. And then I say, oh, this one sounds interesting. Tell me more about what's happening in that area.
Yes.
And then I can go and research on the web. And so it allows me to use my creativity in a way that I don't have AI write the article. I write the article, but I use it to help me come up with ideas.
Absolutely. You know, I find that, we also talked about, the 21st century skills in schools. And some of the stuff that they were talking about, Angel, I'm like, wow, do they still teach that in schools? Like, because we had it in our schooling, like some life skills, being able to cook, do those things. I mean, hopefully they bring that back. Do you know what I mean? Or hopefully they put more attention to it. What do you think?
Well, I really like the progressive education idea that a child can explore what they want.
Right.
So if a child is interested in finances, let them go down that path. If a child is interested in cooking, let them go down that path, and just allow them to explore the different things that interest them.
Well, this has just been beautiful, you guys. Now, remember, Every Child Can Learn is sponsored by Thriving Women University, and it's an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. Now, if you want to produce a franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and the mentoring to produce your franchise show. So visit our website, and we'll be back.
I love bringing lab science and hands-on experiences to my students, which is kind of what's been my motivation and inspiration to collaborate and search for resources outside of just the school and the DPS system. Basically, my first summer, after teaching for my first year, I started collaborations with professors at Duke, and one of those professors, Dr. Mohammed Noor, he just had a really positive attitude about bringing science to all levels of students, and it really inspired me to start developing activities that I can bring to my students here at Riverside. Kind of what's come out of a lot of these collaborations and partnerships with people at Duke has been some activities that have been published. This one was published in the American Biology Teacher. Kind of outside of the publications that we've been putting together, we've also developed packages so that teachers anywhere in the country can do these labs in their classroom. One thing that's important to me as an educator is making sure that all students and teachers can easily access exciting hands-on activities, and by making these materials available to anybody, it makes it really easy to bring real science into their classrooms. The students love the activities, and they especially love the fact that we use living organisms and equipment that they know that scientists are using out in the field. And also they've enjoyed having visitors and guests from Duke come in, because I always invite them to come in and help and answer questions that students have just about what it's like to do science every day. So the response has been really positive in all my levels of classes, ranging from students who have very limited science skills and English speaking abilities all the way to my advanced placement students. My main goal for teaching science is just to have students be active and do as much hands-on learning as possible.
Yeah, I like it. Having, biology with plants and
hands-on experience. I think for me it's exciting because when I was in school, I battled being dyslexic. And so like having to read all the time and do all that was kind of exhausting. I would actually fall asleep a lot when I'd have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to do something and put my hands on it and then be able to talk about it, it just was my jam, and it has been.
Absolutely. There's so many different ways that we can reach children through, some do well by reading, some do well by listening, some do well by seeing, some do well by touching.
Right.
And let's create the lessons so that we can touch on each aspect.
Right.
And then all the children will be able to understand.
Right. I think it's important that us as hosts, and this is the reason why I do this, is us as hosts, we're talking about this because we once were children too. And so the point so the point of the matter is, like, I remember what my experience was like, and I remember how cool it would have been if I did have these things. And so the fact that, you know, we can, as adults, understand like what we would have wanted really gives a good idea of what we're seeing children be able to have. So it makes us excited too, as parents and adults.
It does, yeah.
Right? To know that there's something new, right?
Absolutely.
You guys, we really want to thank our Prime viewers today from around the world for supporting today's mission to enlighten, encourage, and empower parents to recognize the impact of starting 21st century skills, preparing children for success, right? So we would love to hear you guys' comments on today's topic by joining our Facebook group, Thriving Women TV, and telling a friend to tell a friend. Okay. Tell a friend. Anyway, so
tell a friend.
So you can watch recent episodes on demand at our Facebook group, E360 TV, and our website, www.thrivingwomennetwork.com. What else we got, Angel?
Well, Every Child Can Learn is sponsored by Thriving Women University, which is an affiliate of Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce your own franchise show, TWN provides the media, network training, coaching, and mentoring so that you can produce your own franchise show. For more information, visit our website. And don't forget to tune in to AMP Sports on Thursday at noon EST, amplifying women's sports.
Yes. Well, Angel, I think we're good. So I'm Sparkle Lindsay.
And I'm Angela Lee.
We'll see y'all next Wednesday. Bye.